My name is Kathy Johnson, and I serve as our Chief Academic Officer at IUPUI, which stands for Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis. I've actually been leading this work for a number of years. In my prior role, I served as Dean of our University College and Associate Vice Chancellor for Undergraduate Education, and helping to institutionalize and to lead work around high-impact practices was part of that role. So I'm happy to speak to both the beginnings of what we did, but also share a bit of advice based on where we are today. IUPUI back in 2008 launched a RISE initiative, and RISE is an acronym, and I won't get bogged down in what the acronym stands for, but essentially it's a way of infusing high-impact practices into all of our undergraduate curricula through our degree maps, and we actually include it on our transcripts as well in order to help credential students for the work and the learning that they're doing inside as well as outside the classroom. So the RISE program right now is led by a faculty member who serves as its director. She's an associate professor in English. Her name is Jennifer Sorington Springer, and she's wonderful. And we really wanted a faculty member to lead this work on our campus because where we saw the greatest opportunities for improvement were in the area of program fidelity. So this initiative was launched, again, it was kind of a provost initiative, or the person in my position in the past launched it, and it got rolled out fairly quickly with a lot of assumptions happening regarding how courses were earning the RISE designation. The assumption was that this would go through a pretty rigorous review of going through curricula committees and the like, but in reality we found that that wasn't always happening. We actually have 17 different schools on our campuses, or on our campus in Indianapolis, that confer undergraduate degrees. And over 350 degree programs. So there's just a lot of heterogeneity in terms of how this gets led across schools. And what I really hoped Jennifer could do was to spend time with the faculty who were leading RISE courses, as well as with department chairs and, again, school-based curriculum committees, in helping people to understand what the goals of the program are, as well as how to offer these experiences with the highest levels of integrity and quality. So that's how it's run. I think at this time, Elise had asked what I'm most worried about, and I'm still worried about program quality. I'm still worried about, continuously trying to improve our curricula, as well as our processes for ensuring that students are having the experiences that we want them to have. There's still a fair amount of variability, for example, in terms of how much we ask students to self-reflect on their own learning and on their own knowledge. And we really believe that without that element of self-reflection, engaging in these experiences never reaches its fullest potential. So we've been encouraging the use of e-portfolios to help guide that structured reflection, but there's pockets of places or parts of campus where we're really not doing that as well as I think we could be. I also worry, too, about what students were missing. As I mentioned, we're very intentionally building these experiences into our degree maps and into our degree programs. It's built into our student information system so that we know where the courses are, but I still worry, especially for our transfer students and our degree completers, that they might sometimes be missing out on the opportunity for them to have the experiences that we know are probably most impactful or among the most impactful things that students can do while they're in college. So I'm really excited about this work for the primary reason that I think it recognizes that probably what's most valuable about a college experience or about a student's experience in college happens at the intersection between the curriculum and the co-curriculum. Students are gaining lots of knowledge and skills, hopefully, in their classes, but it's through these experiences that they can actually apply what they're learning to real-world experiences. They can hopefully discover things about themselves and about their strengths and their passions that hopefully serve them well in terms of their future career development or progress through graduate school. But maybe even most importantly, I think it helps them to connect the dots across the curricular experiences that they have. You know, until they're working on a thorny problem in the community, they might not really see necessarily the connections or the joint relevance of coursework that they've taken in mathematics and in sociology, for example. But when you're helping a nonprofit to do a program evaluation plan, I mean, those sorts of skills have to be executed together. And it's, I think, surprisingly rare for students to have those sorts of experiences while they're undergraduates, and that's why I think it's just so important and so exciting as a teacher. And finally, something that we've learned that I think would be helpful to this meeting that I wish I could attend, that I'm sure will be wonderful. It was hard for me to think of just one thing, so I'm going to quickly give you 3 things that we've learned that I would love to share with you. One is, I think we've done something really smart in terms of embedding these experiences, which we call RISE experiences, into our student information system. I've learned from traveling and talking with colleagues at other institutions that deep embeddedness is not always normative. And it's that sort of a strategy that I think can help quickly institutionalize and enable one to scale the work, especially on a big and complicated campus like ours. It also makes it easier to assess who's getting these experiences and who's not. So in thinking about equity and issues of access, I think that that's really, really important. A second thing that I would love to share with you is just, again, the transformative power that I think electronic portfolios have in supporting student learning while they're engaged in these experiences. E-portfolios can't be taken on lightly. There needs to be faculty development that's layered on in terms of the use of them. But I think it serves as a wonderful vehicle for students capturing what they do, reflecting on what they've done, and also sharing with others and helping to, again, create more of a unified whole to their student experience. So using e-portfolios, and it could be something super fancy, like something you pay for through your institutional subscriptions, but I think it could be as simple as a website. It could be a Wix site or a Google site, something that doesn't cost much. And then finally, the last thing I'll leave you with is something that I have learned the hard way, and that is for any initiative like this, and it really could be for anything, it's really helpful to have a communication strategy developed and ready to be deployed as you roll out. I'm a psychologist by training. I think I never even took a communications course in college, and perhaps that's why this message has taken so long to sink in. But it's really important to think about the various constituencies that one will need to lead in rolling out something like this. So there needs to be a communication stream for faculty. There needs to be one for our community partners or future employers. And of course, there needs to be one for students, and the one that's for students should be written in a really different way and probably texted and, you know, rife with emoticons and use of social media, very, very different from the communications to faculty. But being very strategic and intentional and using images, capturing student voices to characterize the meaningfulness of the learning that's taken place. For us, that's been really, really important, and it's been something that we've kind of built as we've gone, and I think I could have gone faster and further if we had developed that out a bit more before deploying. It also probably could have helped with some of the fidelity issues that I was describing us as still struggling a bit with.